Welcome to Be Happy, Feel Great. I have a very, very exciting show today. My special guest is Earl Fultz, and at 88 years old, he started his own business. It's never too late to start your own business, and I'm really thrilled. I wanted to have Earl on the show to be an inspiration to so many other people out there that make all the excuses and say, I'm too old to do anything, okay? Earl is a role model for everybody, and if you're looking to play tennis, start your own business, or do anything else, you gotta watch the show and listen to Earl. Earl, thanks for joining me today.
Good to see you, Mike.
Oh, it's great. Now, Earl started a business, it's called cHarissa, and it's really I guess Earl is from Montana, and we say it's Montana meeting Morocco, where his wife Gloria is from originally Morocco, and it's just a fabulous story about this spice and Moroccan cooking, and I can't describe it. So Earl is going to tell us, what is cHarissa? What is this spice that everybody's talking about?
Well, I know everybody's talking, but we're trying to get everybody talking about it. You have to know that Moroccan cuisine is one of the best in the world, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, it's just great. And Gloria, my wife Gloria El Mali, her family, her mother was a fantastic cook. Craig Claiborne loved her. He gave her 8 columns in the New York Times back in 1970. And Gloria, her mother thought Gloria was a better cook than she was. I wasn't.
Wow. Yeah.
Once I found Moroccan cooking, I wasn't going to let that get away from me.
And you love to eat, and this was right up your alley.
My mother was a great cook too, but
that's what I heard.
But not Moroccan. Yeah. How it came to be, I don't know. The original harissa, H-A-R-I-S-S-A, is so hot. It's all jalapeno.
Now that's a true spice in Morocco, right?
That's
what it's called, harissa.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was too hot for kids, and my wife adapted. This happened over the years. I can't even tell you when. But she substituted cumin for the jalapeno, and Spanish paprika for the tomato, and the other things, garlic.
So she custom made her own recipe, like a condiment that.
Right, for Americans.
For her own family.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, like all traditional, I guess,
ethnic foods,
nationalities, ethnic foods, they all have their own recipes,
right,
and they cook it to their liking.
And I call it authentic because my line is, in Morocco, authentic is whatever your grandmother says it is.
Okay, sure.
Which is true of all ethnic. There's always
Absolutely.
someone who knows what the sauce is right.
Yeah, it's got to be that family. It's always that grandmother too.
Right.
Yep. Yep. Wow.
So the other thing was that my wife Gloria was an awfully good cook, but Moroccan food is very labor intensive. A good tagine might take 3 hours to make. A thing I particularly liked, which was a bistella, a pigeon pie with, puff pastry and cinnamon and all kinds of stuff. You can spend 4 hours on that. Just, it was, or a couscous would be 4 hours. A mishwi, which is a roast lamb, might be 7 hours. Of course, that would be in the holding ground. What she did was, with the cHarissa, she gave a hint of Morocco to anything you want to put it on. And it was just, she didn't set out to do it, but it's a condiment that truly goes on anything. And
it's proven with your family.
Yes, yeah.
For many years, they grew up, and I'm sure she refined it a little bit, tweaked it up here and there, and now she fast-tracked it so people don't have to cook 3-4 hours anymore.
That's right. She could keep me happy without having to spend 4 hours at the stove.
Okay. Oh, isn't that's...
And I was very happy.
Yeah. So you had this, it's like the true family recipe. And at 88 years old, you decided to turn it into
Well, it was a little more complicated than that. We had, we live at cHarissa over in Greenport, Peconic Landing.
Okay.
And it was easy to throw a party there. So we threw a party for Gloria and her sister, birthday party, and invited everybody, I don't know, 45 people or something. And by that time we were making this rather regularly, and I put it in jars and put it on the table, and everybody loved it. Surprisingly, you may be from Morocco or from a foreign country, but if you stay in America long enough, you might drift away from the the true sauce or whatever. Anyway, people liked it, but that was not what happened. Next year we had another party for the cousins, and this time it was I put a label on it and so on and so on, and everybody said, "Oh, you got it! This is so terrific! You got to put it on the market." And I said, "Well, I'm no kid. I'll get the label, I'll get the thing, I'll find out somebody to make it, but somebody else has to sell it, because I'm 88. So when I got it all done,
and this was 2 years ago.
Yes,
this was 2 years ago.
Right.
So at 90 now, here you are doing a TV show, and this is getting great because there has to be a good story to hear where you are today with it.
Well, the thing is that my wife, Gloria, didn't set out to do it, but she created a condiment that goes on everything. I mean, it's cumin based, and I truly don't know if food it doesn't work with. Vegetables, raw, cooked, I don't know, any meat, fish, seafood, put it in mayonnaise or hummus, it just goes on anything, and people respond to it, and kids like it. You put this on spinach and a kid will eat it, because my wife made it for kids.
Yeah, I recently read about Erica Marcus in Newsday, and she called it thoroughly addictive. Expand on that.
Well,
To have somebody from Newsday. How did she find you, or how did you find her? And
actually,
where did that come
she stumbled across. I started out in a farmer's market in Greenport, and the woman who makes this for me, Jerri Woodhouse, and who works with me, let me come in under her tent, as it were, so to speak, tent with Morocco.
Yeah.
Erica was out there, I think probably the second week I was seeing what would happen. You don't know what the hell's going to happen or something. And she discovered it. And
she sampled it and tried it out.
She loved it, and has given us 2 or 3, 4 things in Newsday because she likes it. Her editor likes it. They're going to do a bigger story on me here one of these days.
Look at that.
It just happened.
You're like the celebrity of the North and South Fork right now. And it is. Okay, anybody that just tuned into the show, Earl is 90 years old. He's all over. I see his product on the North Fork, South Fork. You're in Manhattan with it.
Yeah.
You're out in some of the boroughs, right? Bronx or?
In the Bronx, yes.
Out in the Bronx, okay.
This is the
Bronx
connection.
It's amazing that he's talking about the early days, getting his label on the product, having people sample it, saying, you should market this, and he did. How many people are out there and say, I should have, I could have, and all the other, and then they have all the excuses to go along with it, and they never do it. And here's Earl, who is a role model for people. I was doing a talk about 2 weeks ago for the Southold Senior Citizen Group. I brought your product there. I was telling them your story. First of all, a third of them were familiar with it already. They've seen it, they've had it. And for everybody else, it was so inspirational for me to be saying how you started this business. And you were telling me before the show that you just get pumped up, waking up every day. You're energized.
Yeah, I'd like to wake up. I've always been a morning person, and I like to wake up having something to do. The thought of having a day with with nothing is upsetting to me. So I have fun at this. I really do.
So you're working the phones, you're talking to people, you're on the computer, you're doing orders, you're following up, you're doing all your public service and
with a
TV shows in between.
With a startup, you're always figuring out, where do I get the money to take the next step? Because as you grow, you need more and more and more money.
Oh, sure.
So
sure. There's always accounts receivable. But you're doing the whole spectrum of a startup business. So it went from family, you found somebody that could actually take this recipe that your wife had created, and from there, I guess you had to go have somebody design a label for you?
Yes, that was done locally.
Locally, okay, so you had somebody locally on the North Fork design a label. How rewarding is it to, you had to feel so great to be able to see that product. And
it was fun. It's still fun,
Oh, it is, it is. And then I've seen Earl at farmers markets. Okay, recently I guess there was a farmers market that I had visited, and well, there's a great shot right now of your wife. Okay, and well, we'll go back in a minute, but at the farmers market, this was in Mattituck, and you were with different people. I saw you as you were setting up over there. I took a few pictures that we're watching right now. There's your booth, showing how you were set up at a table with a product. And you go to farmers markets, North Fork, South Fork, Riverhead,
Port Jefferson,
Northport. Okay, so you have Northport. Wow, you travel all over, and it's.
Well, there's a reason for this. In order to get the product out there, a farmer's market is a terrific way to do it. It's like being paid to test market. I mean, if you're really working with the people and seeing them taste it and whatnot, you begin to know how to promote it and whatnot. But if we go into a market where there's never been before, but the farmer's market once a week, maybe we do sell 50 jars, but over 22 weeks, that'll be 1,000 people who have now tasted cHarissa, and they have no place to buy it. So then we go in and say, hey, we just made a market for you. Come on, put it on the shelf.
Yeah. No, that's great.
Fairly aggressive about
it. And it's very nice because you get to see the people face to face too.
Yep.
So you're right there, and like any kind of show, you get your own following, and they know that they could get it there.
Yeah.
We were just talking before, the Cutchogue New Suffolk Historical Council's having their 50th anniversary of the antique show, and each year we have different types of food, and we get a lot of people that attend there, and you're going to have a booth there or a table, which is on July 5th. Which
Happy
is
to be there.
very, very exciting, so that's one place that people will be able to have a chance to see this.
If you let me dig a hole about 5 feet deep and put rocks in there and a fire, we'll do a mishwi.
Okay, let's do it.
No,
You heard, okay.
It takes 6 or 7 hours of that lamb to be
I don't even know what it is, but we'll do it. Okay, so it's lamb, huh?
Yeah.
Wow, wow. And I did hear that cHarissa really tastes great on lamb, too.
It does, actually,
It's,
yes.
I had a jar, one of your jars the other day. I was having dinner, and I had a hamburger I threw on the grill. And instead of putting ketchup on it, I said, let me try it. But it was good.
Yeah.
It tasted good, because you have a specialty, meatballs, right?
Yes, that's what we frequently test, let people taste that. But I had to say it again, it's good on it. It'll go on anything. It'll go on, it just will. I was at a restaurant show and I said everything but ice cream, and there was the guy next to me had an ice cream booth, and he said, try it on chocolate. And we did it, and it worked. Look at the Mayans were doing that hundreds of years ago, right?
Yeah, that's
hot.
Yeah, that's funny. So now a very popular ice cream store in Mattituck, you'll probably see cHarissa flavored ice cream up on their billboard.
It could happen.
I saw cucumber last week they had up there, so I think this will work better. But very, very exciting, and just to see your enthusiasm, you know, and to be, when I saw you work in there, but I think we have to backtrack a little bit, okay? And, you know, this is a little bit emotional, but Earl, Gloria had this recipe. Can we see maybe a shot of Earl and Gloria here? Okay, and you always said it's Montana meets Morocco, right? So Earl grew up in Montana, and I'll let you tell the story. You guys met many years ago.
Well, I could spin this on for 2 hours, but I won't.
Let's do the abridged version.
Okay, Depression, Montana. We didn't own our own land. We were sharecroppers. I grew up, when I was first born, it was a whole new, different world. It was like the frontier almost. We were only 10 or 20 years removed from the frontier. We had no carbon footprint at all. We had horses. We didn't have machines or motors or anything. We didn't have electricity. Water was 150 feet away in a well. But who knew, you know, I didn't know any difference, so I had a great childhood. I had my own horse when I was 8 years old, and I was shooting a gun by the time I was 8 or 9, and I quit killing anything at the age of 16, I'm happy to say, so don't put me with the IRA.
Yeah, so you had a great childhood, Montana,
right. Beautiful
country, just gorgeous. Yeah. Didn't live that far from Glacier Park, right? 100 miles or so, a couple 100 miles. Pretty area.
When you say glacier, then I want to talk one quick thing about the environment. When I was a kid, Glacier Park had 95 glaciers there, and it created a river called the Milk River that irrigated our farm. Glacier Park now has only 25 or 20 glaciers. They're going to be gone in 5 years. The river will be gone. The irrigation will be gone. To me, that is a snapshot of what can happen elsewhere in the world, in the Himalayas, in the Greenland, and I fear for the future. I must say.
Yeah.
Because of that.
I think with that, I think we should really talk about what you want to do for the future with a charity that you're setting up, or a foundation. In memory of Gloria, who started this nice recipe. Gloria,
Gloria was a woman of strong convictions, and I agreed with most of them. Little joke there. She was a teacher. She believed in education. She was important in the education of some of the grandchildren who are now wildly successful. One was in the computer world, and another one in government. I would like to keep her beliefs going, and what I want to do with cHarissa is form a cHarissa Foundation in her name, that carries her convictions, her beliefs, her standards into the next generation and the next, if possible. And what would make it possible if cHarissa really gets going, and I'm beginning to think it will, because we have a broker that wants to put us into supermarkets. We have things that I won't bore people with what might happen, but things are happening.
Oh, you have a lot of great stuff going on that you were telling me about before.
It's amazing. I never was associated with anything where things just happen. I don't, all of a sudden, boom, here comes somebody that wants to do this, somebody wants to do that, and it's fascinating. And as I said to you, I like getting up in the morning and knowing that there's something to do, or there's a problem, or there's, I can't imagine facing the day with well, I'll go have breakfast,
Oh, no, you're an inspiration to everybody out there. But the actual foundation, then, you're putting money that you're going to look to put money from the sales into.
Yes. Not only that, but the recipe and the trademark of cHarissa and whatnot is held in a separate corporation anyway, and that's going to be the basis of the foundation. And then I have a whole way of people investing in the company, but it ends up in the foundation if they want to do that, or they take their money and run, or they buy stock and they're succeeding. It's complicated, and I won't bore people with it, but I would like to see the foundation grow as cHarissa grows. And I'd like to see it doing the things that my wife believed in, and I do too, long after she died last October.
Yeah. No, this is tough. But anyway, in memory of Gloria, Earl is looking to have this foundation, and he started this company, and Gloria really pushed him towards it and said, you have to do something so that you wake up every day and you're motivated. And he loved these family recipes, and he's really been working hard. I met Earl months ago, and I can't believe how much I see his product out there on the North Fork, South Fork. And I think Earl is also a Yankee fan. Now, I don't know why this thing Yankee fan comes in, but he was wearing a Yankee hat when he came in today. And I think there's something exciting about this, Earl. Can you tell us about that hat you're wearing, or are you a true Yankee fan?
I'm not a spectator, generally speaking. I love to play sports, but I don't particularly like to watch them. But the Yankees I watch.
Because there's no Montana, right, baseball team that I know that plays professional.
No, that's true.
Okay.
Very quickly, 2 summers after last October, before Gloria died, actually, Jerry and I were in New York at Pier 90, handing out meatballs for the New York Wine and Food Festival. Guy came up, said his name was Matt Gibson. He's the chief chef, the executive chef for Legends, which is the Yankee Stadium, the Yankees catering outfit. He said, get in touch with me, and he gave us his website. We call, they say, we like it, we're going to put it on the menu, we want you to come in as guest chefs along the time. Wow. Hasn't quite happened yet, but it's in the works
though.
Yeah.
It's in the works.
And I have to say, if you want to know why I have faith in this product, show it. To go from a little farmer's market in Greenport to Yankee Stadium in 2 summers it shows that people like it. This is going to be our entree to the supermarkets. We have a chap that works with us who is in the fishing and hunting field. He writes for the magazines and has his own website and whatnot. Outdoor Tom, he calls himself, Tom Schlichter.
Oh, sure.
I've
read his.
Oh yes,
he's big.
He is big, and he when we talked with him about this, he got it immediately, and he's the hunting and fishing people love food. They're always looking for something new, and they're finding it in this because, as I say, this is good on everything. And I'll quit the hard sell here, and I'd like to say just one thing. When people ask how a kid from Montana gets together with a beautiful woman from Morocco, I use the word, which my wife gave me, a Moroccan word called mektub, M-E-K-T-U-B.
Mektub.
It means it is written.
Okay, so.
It was inevitable.
Yeah.
Had to happen.
Look at that.
I don't really believe that, but.
No, I think it.
Well, after the fact, everything is mektub. It had to happen because cause and effect. But before it happens, I have my problems with it.
Yeah, well, look at
anyway.
that. What a great love story that is, and what a great. The charity that you're going to do in memory of her, and that's just so many great things that are happening. One of the things about this, it's a condiment that you could put on all types of food.
Anything.
And, you know, in America, people know, okay, you put ketchup on a lot of things, you know, from eggs to hamburgers and some people to hot dogs. I kind of like mustard myself, but whichever one, you read the ingredients, and a lot of times high fructose corn syrup, you know, they have the artificial this or that, colors. Your stuff is healthy.
No sugar, no MSG, Madison Square Garden.
None of that enhancer MSG.
No,
that you know.
the marvelous thing about cumin is it does join the food flavors, and I really, it's different every time out. You know, if you, and you know, as I say about mustard, I like mustard, but most of the time it's just used to cover up what really is.
So this
hot dogs are
enhances
made
the
from.
food
It does.
rather than cover it up,
Really
is what
does.
you're saying.
Really does.
Okay, and that's why people are enjoying it.
Yep.
I've had what you call mild, and there's a hot also.
Yep.
Okay, so for different taste buds, you could have it. Actually, the mild was perfect for me. But I know a lot of people, you know, you get the tailgaters, they're out there having their different things before
Well, they can add some hot if they want to burn their taste buds, but that is not my idea of food.
Yeah. No, but you just have a great product that's really gaining momentum, and, you know, I just thought it was something regional. I saw it in one of the local fish markets. And cheese shop and some of the other things on the North Fork where I shop. And then when we talked, and to hear about Yankee Stadium and Manhattan, I remember when I first heard about your product was about a year ago. Yeah. And it was, and we're going to be ending on this because to me this is when it got launched, and that was at Russ McCall's. And he had a special event there. It was actually the Harvest East End.
Yeah.
Okay, and I read about it, and now, Earl, you're just doing great things with it, and I really want to thank you for being here today. It was just such a great opportunity and an inspiration for everybody out there to start a business. It's never too late to start.
Why not?
Thanks, Earl.
Okay.
Thanks a lot
Thank
for
you.
joining me.